My role in Orbi is that I have a background in neuroscience and the way we understand the brain works in terms of implementing best practice rehab. So what can we do in rehab that will tap into the brain's potential to learn and change for people with disability? So rehabilitation it's lots of different things to lots of different people. For us working in disability, it's working with the person who has some difficulties. So they have some kind of condition, an injury, a disease process, that means that they're not as able as they would wish to be. So for us, rehabilitation is this kind of enablement is another word. It's capacity building. It's about helping people to get back some of the potential that they had. And that might mean, facilitating recovery processes. So, someone who's had an injury, they actually might be getting better. But if they've got a kind of a fixed disability, it's how can they compensate? How can they learn to do what they really want to do in a way that is satisfying to them, that serves them? So for us, rehabilitation is all of those things. Keeping people interested in rehab is one of our biggest challenges, and especially children who have cerebral palsy, where they've been having rehab their whole childhood. So they really do hit a brick wall in their teens. Again, we have to look at basic understanding of human behaviour is what keeps any of us interested and engaged. It's when something has meaning for us. So we get something that is, in a way, rewarding. It sort of gets into that kind of dopamine loop, if you like. So the engagement is around it having true meaning. There's a reward aspect to it. And particularly for children, there's a fun aspect to it. In the past, rehab might have been very abstract exercises, and you might have been in a gym in a very strange environment or a clinical environment. And what we've realised, particularly when you're rehabilitating someone who's got a brain injury, is that that doesn't work. Abstract exercises, to be honest, the brain's not interested. For the brain to really get interested in either recovery or compensation, it needs to be engaged because there's a person around this brain. And so Orbi offers something that it is getting the movements that we want, so it has that sort of element of training, which we know is important, but it's coupled that with meaning. So the child is doing, or the adult, whoever, is doing the movements, but rather than doing it in an abstract way in a gym with no result other than that a weight gets moved around, they get pleasure, they get engagement, so they'll pay attention for longer, and the brain is actually better engaged, and the neuroplastic change from a learning point of view is enhanced when it's in an environment that has a context and that has a meaning. So this is not just now about motivation, it's actually at a physiological level. The brain changes better, more positively, if there is meaning attached to the activity.